And we're live! Wow, that was really loud. Hi, everyone. How's it going? My name is Shane. Locke is there. Alan's farther over. And how's it going? We have no plans today for the beer because, pandemic causes all kinds of grief. So you can't actually do much. So, how's it going, boys?
Yeah, going all right.
You know what? I'm just happy that, we've all got something different. And, these are beers, that we've already probably done on the show. And I'm happy to just sit here and have a beer virtually with you guys. Because Lord knows I can't do that in person with anybody else. So
No.
I'm overjoyed at this moment.
Yeah, we're totally not allowed to do much, are we? We're just completely, as we talked about last week, we're completely, sequestered into oblivion. That's really how it works, isn't it?
And really, this could become the new normal for the Crafty Boys for the next little while. We may not be able to access new product or anything. There may not even be new product coming out.
No,
So, in these times of pandemic, let's hear it. Shane, what are you drinking this evening?
This evening, I will be drinking the fine craft brewers, Red Truck Brewery's Holland Samass, which is basically all I really drink from there. So, congratulations, you found out my secret.
I am familiar with Holland Samass.
You are familiar with it, that's great.
And we both know that it is kind of like a sort of it's the street legal version of that much more powerful vehicle, the Wicked Smart. Do we agree on that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while you guys are
that's
cracking
what they
yours
have.
open,
That's what they have in growler fills nowadays. Yes. Kind of like a sort of a. Did you get the growler fill?
The problem, I was going to say the problem with the growler fills is that we're not allowed to have them right now. We are.
Oh, you can't do growler fills. Oh shit! So how are you getting?
Basically, we just suffer until we run out of beer, and then we have to resort to buying beer in cans and stuff like that. Which is
so. Are you drinking? So are they canning that?
It is. Yes, they are canning it now. They started canning it about February, which I have to say was right on time for the apocalypse. Which reminds me, I'm gonna go get it. I'll be right back. Talk about yourself.
Yeah, you go get it. Okay, Locke, what are you drinking?
Well, funny you should ask. I am drinking. Hold on. Wait for it.
Mm-hmm. Waiting with bated breath here.
Wow.
Oh, a Fat Tug. Awesome. I, as well, am drinking a Fat Tug.
I must say, 100% more expensive in Ontario than it is in BC.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, so just out of curiosity then, how much is a Fat Tug? Is that a 4-pack of tall cans? Locke?
Yep.
Yeah, so is that a 4-pack of tall cans you got there? How much?
They weren't selling them as a 4-pack. They were selling them as singles.
Okay, so how much was that single can?
That was $3.95 plus tax.
Okay, so that's interesting. At the Liquor Plus here in Royal Oak Shopping Center,
right,
to buy a single tall can is about the same price, actually.
Oh, really? Jesus, really?
Yeah. Maybe a little bit. Maybe like, say, 15 to 20 cents less, but still, is pretty similar. To get a 4-pack of tall cans runs about $15.
Which sucks. But, the prices for beer and things like that have been going up for a while, especially around the city. We actually have had a number of people basically track Actually, Julian, who was on the show last week, has this mental record of how much it costs per pint in different places around our neighborhood. So when happy hour is, when each restaurant's happy hour is, all that kind of stuff. So there's all of these different little tidbits of information.
All right, so we've introduced all of our beers. So
I would actually add that I only have one. So after I'm done, because I'm probably going to finish it before we're through the show. Yeah. I intend to open this puppy here, which I have never had before. It is a nitro quad. How they think they're doing a nitro in a bottle, I have no idea. But on the back here, it says, activate nitro. So apparently in this is a nitro system like the Guinness nitro system, only in this case, being a bottle, you turn it upside down and then pour it hard, so it saith. So we'll find out about that later in the show.
That sounds kind of, I don't know, dangerous.
It sounds a little weird.
Dangerous?
Okay, so speaking of nitro, there is, so Starbucks is closed all across Canada, except for some drive-thrus, I think. But anyway, there's this drink that they have at Starbucks that I'm really particular about, and it's their nitro cold brew coffee. It's actually really, really tasty, and when I get it, I feel like I'm having a Guinness. Really? It doesn't taste like Guinness; it just looks like Guinness. But anyway, so I was investigating ways of possibly making nitro cold brew at home, and I was kind of wondering, could you apply the same technique to beer? Could you? So what this technique is getting and it's not true, it's not authentic, but you can get like those whipped cream whippers, the little machine. You put in the whipped cream in, and then you put in an NO2 canister into it and charge it, and you put your cold brew coffee in, and then you pour it out using this thing, and it nitro charges the coffee, the cold brew coffee. Could you not do the same thing with beer? Could you take
that would work? I would assume it would work.
I mean, it's not N2. Like nitro is N2. This is NO2. So it's nitrous and oxygen mixed together.
Wait a minute. Nitrous, isn't that? Don't people do nitrous recreationally?
Yes, they do.
And
yes, absolutely they do.
It sounds like you're an experienced connoisseur.
It's otherwise known as laughing gas.
Yeah. I have friends who are into that.
Friends, quote unquote. There are
this
friends.
I wonder how available that is.
You can buy it on Amazon. The canisters, and they're cheap too. It's like a box of 10 canisters is like $10. And but the whipped cream whippers are actually kind of expensive. That can be like $80 to $150, and it's more money than I'm willing to blow on what amounts to an experiment. Right. So I'm not going to do it. But it leaves me curious. I want to try that. I want to play around with nitro.
I think we have a research project on the go here.
Drinks at home, yeah.
How to use nitrous oxide for your particular entertainment value. That sounds really dangerous to me in some way. I don't know. Would I ever be a recreational user of that kind of stuff? Do you guys picture me like being, I'm gonna, pardon me while I go and huff. I'll be right back.
What I'm thinking of is Blue Velvet. You guys have seen Blue Velvet, David Lynch?
Oh, 8 years ago, yeah.
Sandman.
I'm trying to remember what it was, though.
The candy-colored clown.
I remember very little of it. I just remember the scene with the finger or something that was delivered. Yeah.
Okay, it's obviously been a very long time since I've seen it now because I don't remember that at all.
Okay, yeah, you might want to. Well, look. So I've been getting various film organizations, like various film festivals from around the world, sending me links to films to watch at home, and I've got to tell you, it is really revealing because whatever better judgment that they manage to arrive at in committee when they're actually putting together film festivals of new, premiere films, like stuff that's just being released.
Right.
Their recommendations for home viewing. My God, it's like meeting somebody who's like a video store pedestrian who just doesn't understand what they're looking at. Like it's horrific. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, the great insight of the Toronto International Film Festival is that maybe I want to watch Beetlejuice again.
Hey, apparently we're getting a sequel to Beetlejuice.
Oh my God. Okay, so I have a question. If we're going to talk about movies here, I want to ask a question.
All right.
Is the pandemic going to realistically cause some movies that were expected to come out this coming up summer and cause a delay in their release?
Oh God, yeah.
I'm thinking like about when was the next Ghostbusters supposed to come out?
It was going to come out in, I think, July, or might have been August. July or August, but it's been bounced to next March.
Okay. Now, what about Bill and Ted's?
Yeah,
that's due to come out in August.
The 5-month countdown just dropped the other day, so it might.
I mean, if this thing extends as long as they are predicting,
what is the latest prediction? Because I actually didn't watch any apocalypse news today.
Right.
Yeah.
The news, they're pretty conservative about it. So here in BC, they have extended the state of emergency till the end of April.
Yeah.
But our provincial health services officer, Dr. Bonnie Henry, has said the very, very, very earliest that these measures could ever be removed is the end of April, and that is a long shot at best.
Oh wow.
In the healthcare industry, we are preparing for this to drag out for like 6 months or more.
So basically, okay, I'm going to predict what we look like after 6 months on the Crafty Boys. Here we go. Hang on.
This will be good. We won't be there? Is that what he's trying to illustrate? I know I won't have any more hair. We're going to look like Jack Black?
Okay. Oh, hang on just a second. Hallie, bring me a dog. Bring me a dog. Give me a dog. Bring me a dog. Give me the dog. Give me a dog. Give me a dog. This is 6 months in the future. This is what you're looking at right now. If the apocalypse goes this long. Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. So. Oh, it's. My dog's bony. So anyway,
I don't want to know about it.
I went up to the mall, and it's burned down now. But the liquor store is still open. It's an essential service after all. So it's just like a couple of flatbed trucks, and this one guy named Bobo, who's got the kegs in one place, and he's got the well, there's actually no cans left. We're only got glass, and we're just refilling them with our pee now, because all the beer is really gone. So it's just reused beer. So it's
in 6 months we'll be like doing the show. It's like, oh, what are you drinking? I'm drinking Fat Tug that's been recycled 15 times over.
I'm drinking Fat Tug, triple distilled.
No, I'm concerned. That like not just movies, but other events are going to get canceled too. Like we're coming into the summer here, where especially for craft beer, I mean, we got festivals. Like every province has festivals lined up, going, every single weekend.
Yeah.
If one gets canceled, let's say there's one that's scheduled for next week, and another one the week after, and another one a week after that. I mean, reasonably, those are all going to be canceled. Is that going to affect the Great Canadian Beer Fest, which is supposed to take place on the first Friday and Saturday of September?
I think
sort of the tour that kind of exists that all of the breweries go on, if it's canceled all the way along, would they even bother?
My best guess is probably yes. So let's think about Spanish flu.
Sure.
You had basically a year and a half of just fucking massive die-off. After that, things settled down. But it was a full year and a half before it ran its course, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you look at that as being sort of comparable, and I think it probably is, that's probably, I think that's likely what we're looking at. Now, that said, who knows? I mean, we live in an age a century on from there. Oddly enough, almost exactly a century on from there, if you think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Making one wonder about patterns more broadly. But, you would think that. So back then, what were the measures that they took? Okay, yeah, stuff that they did. So that's not new. But now we have the ability to share information much more effectively. So they've identified what they say are highly effective antibodies in China. Now that's nothing like a vaccine, but to put that into action to protect the most vulnerable. So 6 months away, they might be able to get to a place where human testing is complete, and then following that is probably a further period of time before they'd be able to execute and get that out there. But where before everybody was doing things sequentially, now we can allocate tasks across what are a much wider array of potential scientists or scientific testing centers and whatnot, things that would previously have happened one after the other can happen side by side.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe that's going to help. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Alan, you're the only healthcare professional. So what do you?
Well, I'm not professional. I'm
Well,
yeah,
more
He puts
than
on a clown
Shane
nose
I
and clown shoes and goes to work.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, nobody really knows what's going to happen. I'm just kind of like thinking out loud. It's like, I mean, these events are huge, especially for the craft beer industry. I shudder to think of what's going to happen to all of our favorite breweries if this thing is protracted for an extended period of time. I mean, Driftwood is probably one of our most favorite. I think they're going to be fine. I think I think they've grown to a point where they can survive this. Same with, say, Phillips or those kind of places.
Right.
But like, say, remember when we were dealing with Riot Brewing out of Chemainus or Ladysmith or wherever they're from up island. They were having problems making ends meet because of the storms and everything. I don't even know if they managed to survive, to be honest. There's no way that they would be able to weather this storm. And I fear for smaller breweries like Red Arrow and kind of place, or even Category 12. How are they going to be able to survive this kind of environment when they don't even know how long this is going to go for? Now, a lot of these places are offering home delivery, which is really ingenious. So Category 12, Driftwood, Phillips, Vancouver Island Brewing, all those places here in town are offering, if you order a certain amount of product, and it's usually between $40 and $60, they will deliver it to your home for a small fee, which they will donate to charity.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, that's an awesome way for craft beer fans to support their favorite brewery and ensure that they'll be able to weather the storm.
Well, I think the government of Canada is being dealt admirably. Whether or not all of those nice things that they've been saying all come to pass is sort of a second tier question.
Right.
Yeah.
75% employee coverage, of wages. I mean, that's solid. That's impressive. Delivery hasn't happened yet, and we don't know how long this thing is going to go on. So there's a lot of unanswered questions there.
And you know what? Fair enough. I mean, even for the government, as big as they are and as depended on as they are, this is new ground for everybody, and so everybody needs to be given a pass if they don't foresee every single obstacle that could possibly come out of this, no matter who they are. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of talk about how this is an unprecedented situation, and which it is in a lot of ways, but I think unprecedented for our society right now, globally, and because we've been through this before with the Spanish flu, as we all know by now. It's been said 100 times.
Bubonic plague.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And those
bubonic plague was different because that was bugs.
Bugs? Like
I thought it was rats.
It was fleas off of rats.
Oh, fleas off of rats, yeah.
But actually, like Now, I read this a little while ago, and I don't know if this is true because I haven't fact checked it myself. But apparently, the Spanish flu came from a pig farm or originated in a pig farm in Kansas. Have you guys heard this before?
Could have. I don't know.
I'm very curious to see if it actually is, because I kind of want to know. But apparently, yeah. So. And the Spanish.
It was a swine flu.
It was a swine flu, yeah. No, but I'm just saying that it was apparently. I'm gonna look this up right now because I really want to know.
Okay, so Shane, while you're looking that up,
yep.
Locke, you have poured your nitro.
I have, and I've been inspecting the
Okay, so
no
fill us
mechanism.
in. How did that work?
Well, so sadly, this isn't a transparent vessel. Otherwise, you would see there is a certain amount of nitro kind of head on it, and I'm actually kind of impressed. It's a little sweeter than I'd hoped, but then again, it's a Belgian, a nitro Belgian. What was I expecting? I knew it was going to be. It wasn't going to be like a stout or something, you know. But it's got the right texture. Or you see what I mean?
Okay.
It's not like a carbonated thing. It's like a nitro pour. It's like a nitro pour Baltic stout, which, if you wanted one of those, this is what that would be.
I never thought I'd see the day where you could get a nitro pour out of a bottle, but you know what? Great. Fantastic. Okay, Shane, you were saying go ahead.
Yes, I did. I did look it up, and according to studies back then with the technology at the time, and people looking back at the disease, they think that it was around since the Spanish flu did start in the U.S. in Kansas, but they think it actually started quite a bit earlier, like in 1915. So yeah, it looks like that it indeed did come from North America. Whether or not Kansas is the exact origin, who knows? But from what seems to be up in the air, or at least there's arguments for and against it. But it did. But they say that does point out that all of the genetic stuff they've done since that H1, because it was H1N1, that particular bug. Virus, yeah. And it has a North American origin apparently. So there you go.
So why did they call it the Spanish flu? Is it because they were all racist?
Pretty much. I mean that I gather is part of what was going on.
I mean, it's not like anybody's calling this the China.
Part of it is where it hit hardest and worst. And yeah. Remember, this is
I mean, they say that it's something like between 17 and 30 million died, so
yeah,
worldwide. And like this particular pandemic is there, at least in the United States. I don't know about Canada. I haven't seen any numbers about Canada, but between 100 to 200,000 people, and that was a few days ago. So who knows what the number is now? So
I've heard a number floating around. And I don't know if this is hyperbole or not, but I've heard bandied around that if we take extreme measures now, I've heard we can limit the dead worldwide to 75 million.
I mean, I actually watched.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows the exact.
Nobody knows, and obviously, if that number is, most of those people would not be here in North America. This would be undeveloped countries that are going to get hit hard, that do not have resources available which to combat this. Yeah. So, I don't know how accurate that is, but 75 million is pretty jaw-dropping.
Well, I mean, it's yeah.
If you look at the place that it hit first, and what's happened since, being China. Now, and then again, in order to do that and to extrapolate from there, you'd have to trust Chinese numbers and Chinese reporting, which they may have reasons not to want to report it as. They may want it not to look as bad as it is. Hard to say. Like the political dimension starts through, and then you get, wow, fuck, I really don't know. What I can tell you is, in terms of reported numbers right now.
Well, there was some video on the was it on the CBC or was it on Fox? Whatever the heck channel video I happened to see of ill people like going into hospitals in China and the security guards throwing them out because they were apparently supposedly trying to protect the fact that they had zero numbers of coronavirus in their hospital, and stuff like that. So those kinds of things. Yeah, I mean, I mean,
so right now, in terms of reported numbers, fatalities in the U.S. are running at about 2% of infection of their infection rate.
Yeah.
In Canada, we're running at about 1%. Italy, I'm not actually sure because that's a moving target. But I mean, I guess the point being, like, whatever they were doing in Lombardy, evidently is not a model of success.
No.
True.
And the problem is with Italy, and this is what I've heard, is that the numbers are skewed because people who are dying at home of the disease are not being counted.
Yeah.
It's only the ones who are dying in the hospital system. And they're turning a lot of people away because the hospital just don't have the capacity. So if people are dying at home, those numbers are not included in their death totals.
So the last bars open in Europe, Sweden.
Really?
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
How is that possible?
Included in their death.
Well, in order to get to Sweden, you either need to cross the Baltic, the last bars open, and since everybody's closed their borders.
Really?
Yeah, like right now, they seem to have a fairly low instance. So maybe they're just early on the curve. So I guess we'll see.
You know, I wonder if the safest place in the world right now is Iceland.
Iceland?
I wonder if there's like any cases in Iceland.
Well, I just
like
brought
if they
up
close off their borders.
A stat tracker for all of those, and let's see if Iceland is on the list.
I mean, Iceland must. I mean, if
Iceland
Antarctica has cases, then
Iceland currently has 1,220 reported cases and 2 deaths as of.
Oh my god! Really?
Ago.
Holy shit!
When it was last updated.
That's actually no, it's not more than Canada.
Sorry, did you say 1,220 infection instances and only 2 deaths?
Correct. At this stage.
Okay.
So
As of about 2 hours ago.
But the infection, although they had that many infections, they could all be new.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, worldwide so far, as of a couple hours ago, and, of course, these numbers are not going to be totally accurate, but pretty close. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Sneezing is not a common effect of, anyway. 936,170 confirmed cases worldwide, and 47,249 deaths, which means that in theory 194,578 people have recovered. So, and that's a really good thing because I actually saw this really good video the other day from a doctor in Houston, Texas, where he talks about he breaks down the disease, about how it actually functions at this stage, about what we know now, and basically, it's a really good disease at filling your lungs with fluid, and you basically drown because your body can't get rid of the fluid because it's busy hammering away at your lungs. But so right now 215,000 total cases in the United States, 5,100 deaths so far, and
that number is going to skyrocket.
Where's Canada? 9,731,000 Sorry, what did I just say? 9,700.
You're sounding like the fucking president of South Africa.
Yeah, no, totally.
And 129 deaths in our country. So yeah, but yeah, the U.S. is far outpacing even Italy. I mean, but again, is that due to population size as well?
No, it has to do with the management of the.
Well, yeah.
Okay, and the big difference is here in Canada, where you're watching all the press conferences and everything, you're seeing the medical health officers, which are physicians, taking the center stage, and the politicians are standing in the background and doing what the doctors say. Meanwhile, in the States, you've got politicians standing front and center, taking advice from physicians, but ultimately they are the decision makers. And so you have the exact opposite here in Canada, where the doctors trump the politicians in this case.
So to speak.
So to speak, yes.
Well, apparently there's only one case in Papua New Guinea, I think it was.
Oh.
So yeah, if you want to get out of this, go there, I guess.
All right.
But please don't travel anyway. So there you go.
Well, you can't. So.
Well, you know, they could swim, dance, maybe. Who knows?
Shane,
I think I'm just picturing
as
people
the
dancing
resident
across
tech
the
head
surface of the
here.
water. Sorry, what?
What as the resident tech head here? What is all of this going to do to bandwidth? Because I got to suppose that with everybody working from home and everybody meetings from home and whatnot and so forth, this is putting pressure on bandwidth.
Oh, it totally is, because
the digital realm.
You suddenly have, I mean, put it this way: you have people like me that are able to mostly still work. A lot of my clients have had to close, that kind of stuff. So there's those realities going on. I've had about 2 weeks ago, we started, fielding the phone calls of how do I do stuff online, because people haven't done it before. It's and the universities have been jumping on the bandwagon, of course, because they want to keep their classes going, but not every class can work because there are certain things you just can't teach online, like fixing cars, working with power tools and things like that.
What are you talking about? Everything
I'm
I
talking
know
about people that are attending like
YouTube.
people that are attending classes to learn to use like big machinery and stuff like that. I'm not talking a power drill at home. I'm talking about like presses and all kinds of things, because they can't go home and use them because they just don't have them. They could, in theory, learn, but all the equipment that they learn on is generally at the university or the or whatever. So that's, people are running into that a lot, and people are realizing that their internet really sucks because for the bandwidth part, people, you always get sold on how much bandwidth you can take up that you can actually download. But a lot of the companies, of course, out there that selling internet services are never really talking about the upstream. That's kind of like an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, you're going to have this amount of bandwidth downstream.
That's marginal, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. Like my internet service is supposed to be 75 down, but only 7.5 up. So there you go. Now the streaming stuff, you only really need like 2.5 ish for it to kind of work at high def. But the problem is most people don't have that. There are provinces in our country that also don't have. That is like 0.25 rather than like my 7.5. So, but again, if you're on fiber, you're a bit luckier, because generally fiber has the up and down is the same. So if you can get it and afford it, please do it. I had fiber installed last year. I haven't bought any yet, but but again, it's affecting us worldwide. Is that we're suddenly doing all this streaming and for this kind of stuff, but the people that can't work online or have been laid off or their companies have closed, they're sitting around with their thumbs in their butts, are jumping on. I mean, there's an increase of memberships in Disney Plus, in Netflix, in Prime. YouTube agreed to reduce their bandwidth so that they're only going to stream their videos when people watch them at a certain level. They won't go beyond that. I think it was Netflix that turned off 4K. I read last week. So probably YouTube did the same thing. They probably turned off 4K level stuff because that just eats and eats and eats the bandwidth and really taxes things. And the other thing too is that people are also finding out that their computers suck. So you have not just
I find that out day by day.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, we were using a service called Lightstream. They decided to become a pay service with very little warning, so that really gave us no choice because we were suddenly, for what the show that we do, we have up to 4 people, was suddenly going to be like $100 a month. And I'm just like, well, no, I'm not. This is a hobby. We're not doing that. Thanks. So I bit the bullet finally and said, okay, well, I'm going to have to do what we're doing tonight, which is having a video service that's still free, that allows us to communicate. I can bring those into the streaming software as virtual cameras and all of that kind of fancy stuff. And that way, we can make it work.
Yay, Discord, right?
Exactly, Discord. I mean, it doesn't really matter. There's a whole bunch of things we could have used, but Discord is just convenient because I've really adopted it.
We all agree right now. Just at least as far as this broadcast.
The video quality is good. I'm hoping there's going to be
Discord. They should have more market share.
The past couple of episodes using Discord have been bit of a learning experience. I think we've had some technical issues
totally.
Surrounding like audio and all that kind of stuff, but I think we're kind of working through them. And hopefully,
exactly,
hopefully by this, by the time the pandemic is over, we'll have this down to a science.
Well, and that's the thing, right?
So the toilet, is there a toilet?
A toilet what?
Is there a toilet paper emoji?
Oh, there must be. How could there not be?
Research project.
All right. Emojis. Toilet paper. Let's see. We're about to find out. Roll of paper. Oh, apparently it's a roll of paper, is what it's called. But it does look like toilet paper everywhere, depending on the emoji set you're using. So yeah, it does exist. So welcome to our world, people. But I mean, the other thing too is that
now there is a sign of the times.
This is software that I've used for all kinds of things, but I've not ever really used it to collect people together in one room, because if you do it at sort of if you have the equipment to do it, you can do it all kinds of ways more efficiently. But you guys would have to buy some little boxes about yay big for like $500 and stick them onto your internet and all this kind of stuff, which is just, it's not feasible. So and it doesn't make sense when we can do it this way. So yes, we've had a learning curve on some of this stuff, but imagine somebody with no technical expertise having to do this. And here comes my gripe. The company Zoom gives away some of their stuff for free up to a certain point, but also resells people's private data without divulging it. So when you have universities and schools jumping on the bandwagon, basically no one thought this would ever be a thing where they would have to suddenly go out and find a provider to provide live streaming and stuff like that so they could do online classes. Zoom has been outed finally for the dick company it is. And I'm very happy about that. And I gather they're now being sued by some educational institutions, because suddenly you have people under the age of 18's information being sold without them being told. And if you read the terms of service to Zoom's thing, it's vague and written in such a way that it's kind of like they're questioning what the definition of the word sale means. It's ridiculous. So
nobody would do that. Not Microsoft,
No,
for example.
no.
You know, like when
well, but here's the thing: companies
copy
like
of Word,
Microsoft.
that's not a service. That's a sale. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, companies like Microsoft, at least, and Google and Facebook as well. I don't want to praise Facebook, but there you go. You know, have been, you know, they acknowledge that they do.
They've
these
been very
things.
sassy, haven't they? They've been very sassy.
They've been very sassy. But I mean, that's the thing, though, is that these companies have been doing this for such a long time that we all expect it to happen. But Zoom was one of the is a smaller company that once this pandemic really started to sink in and people started going, oh my God, we have to work from home. How the hell do we do this? Their stocks went up. And then suddenly the nerds are like, have you read their, you do know what they do, right? And then all these institutions were like, what, wait, who? And then suddenly their stocks started to go down again. But, yeah, it's really, I think out of this whole thing, not just from a tech perspective, that that we all learn from government down to us here, that there's definitely improvements that can be made on how people communicate, how people interact with each other, how companies, we would hope, would recognize that doing business the way that we have been for the last 70, 80 years is not sustainable and is not exactly the best way to do things, because we had a pandemic in 2009. We're having another pandemic in 2020. Will the next one be in 2030, or will it be in 2025? Will it be next year? Will it be definitely going to be next year. This one that we're experiencing now is going to go away for a little while, and then boom, flu season hits.
It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away.
Well,
it's going to cause a false sense of security.
Exactly.
And then
like the
rebound.
flu. Like the average flu, and that one thing that annoys me about this particular disease, everything annoys me about this disease, but the one thing that now annoys me is when people compare it to the flu when it's not. It is very similar in a lot of ways, but overall it's a very different disease. And when I hear this all the time online right now, where people, it's just the flu. Come on, it's just the flu. Just go out and catch it. Drown in your own lungs then, because that's your choice if you wanted to be able to do that. So, there's just all these things that the people have taken for granted for so long, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then I hope that's out of the wherever the light at the end of the tunnel is that we do as a global society kind of go, that sucked, and here are the 5 things that fucking just didn't work. And here, let's get together, or at least in your own neighborhoods, get together to improve stuff like this, because it definitely is going to happen again. And I pity the future. Whoever had children now, look what you're giving to them. A disease-ridden apocalyptic landscape of zombies.
Yeah.
But at least, even if the apocalypse comes, we'll still have alcohol. It's an essential service in our country.
Yes, it is.
But I don't know. We've drank beer, and we will go on. We will continue to do so throughout the pandemic, because we have the technical know-how, we have the skills, and we have the spouted crowd.
Talent.
The talent. Yeah, I was going to say talent, but I didn't want to bait anyone on the internet to go, really, talent? Are you sure? But anyway, so. Any final words before we shut this down? Because we've been going for
a while,
almost an hour.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have. Yeah, and we were worried we wouldn't have enough to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
yeah, Alan.
You know what?
Everybody out there, social distancing. Yay! Woo! Everybody out there, stay healthy. Everybody out there.
Yeah.
If you have them, drink them.
Yeah,
and you know what? If you guys
brew beer, and
if you guys are ever bored while you're social distancing, sorry, my phone. If you guys are ever bored while social distancing, let's do this again. Like, we don't have to wait for a Wednesday night.
That's
we
true.
can do
We
this
whenever
anytime.
now. There's no rules
Fucking
anymore.
damn it.
The rules are done. We're done with rules. So tomorrow night, everyone. But anyway, we'll leave it at that, boys and girls. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for sending us your feedback, sending us all kinds of lock request nudes at any time. So any men out there that want to send nudes, by all means.
Sorry, somebody said request nude.
All right, that's it. It's happening. It's happening. Here we go, boys.
Blind.
Yeah, there we go. Come on, Alan, take it off. Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry. Nobody needs to see that.
Well, hey, they're all terrified now. Look, check this. Check out these guns. Well, not that you can really see them. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. Now that we've decided to take off our clothes at the end of the show. Thumbs up. Hope you all can share the program, let people know. But otherwise, we will be back probably before next Wednesday. We'll be back whenever the hell we feel like it. So, the pandemic rules right now. So there you go. Yeah. All right, everyone. Alan, as always, take us out.